Welcome to Moonlight Temple. Tonight, we embark on a gentle journey together. A journey toward the most peaceful sleep you've ever experienced. For centuries, Buddhist monks have whispered 5 sacred lines into the darkness before sleep. These aren't just words. They are keys that unlock the deepest chambers of inner peace. Tonight, you will discover how these ancient words can transform your entire relationship with rest. As you settle into this moment, feel the weight of the day beginning to lift from your shoulders. The ancient masters knew that the transition from wakefulness to sleep holds immense power for healing and peace. These 5 sacred lines will become your gentle guides into the most restorative sleep imaginable. You don't need to be a Buddhist. You don't need meditation experience. You simply need an open heart and a willingness to receive the peace that is your birthright. Let's begin with the first sacred line. As we do, allow your body to release any tension. Notice how your breathing naturally slows as we enter this sacred space together. The first sacred line. I am grateful for this day's journey. In the soft glow of evening light, when the world begins to quiet and the busy chatter of daily life fades into whispers, there lives a practice so simple yet so profound that it has transformed countless lives across the centuries. The first line we speak before sleep is a doorway into gratitude, but not the kind of gratitude you might expect. This isn't about forcing yourself to feel thankful when your day has been difficult. This is about recognizing the sacred truth that every day, regardless of its challenges, is a complete journey of growth and discovery. When you whisper to yourself, I am grateful for this day's journey, you're not just acknowledging what happened. You're honoring the deeper truth that your soul chose to experience every moment that unfolded. In Zen Buddhism, there's a beautiful teaching story about a farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbors said, "How terrible." The farmer replied, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned with 3 wild horses. The neighbors exclaimed, "How wonderful." Again, the farmer said, "Maybe." This continued through a series of seemingly fortunate and unfortunate events. The farmer's wisdom lay in understanding that each moment is part of a larger tapestry that we cannot fully see. As you lie in the comfort of your bed tonight, breathing slowly and deeply, consider how this applies to your own day. Perhaps you faced frustration at work or had a difficult conversation with someone you care about. Maybe you felt overwhelmed by responsibilities or disappointed by how something turned out. In Zen understanding, these experiences aren't obstacles to gratitude. They are the very substance of your spiritual journey. Each challenge was an invitation to discover strength you didn't know you possessed. Every moment of discomfort was an opportunity to develop compassion, patience, and wisdom. There's another Zen story that illuminates this truth. A young monk complained bitterly to his master about all the difficulties in his life. The master handed him a handful of salt and told him to put it in a glass of water and drink. The water tasted terrible. Then the master led the monk to a beautiful lake and asked him to throw another handful of salt into the lake. They cupped the lake water in their hands and drank. It tasted fresh and clean. The pain of life is like the salt, the master explained. The amount remains the same, but the vessel in which you hold it makes all the difference. When your vessel is small, like a glass, the pain overwhelms. When your vessel is vast, like a lake, the same pain becomes barely noticeable. Gratitude for your day's journey expands your vessel. It transforms you from a small glass into a vast lake. When you acknowledge that every experience, pleasant or difficult, contributed to your growth, you create space. Space for peace. Space for acceptance. Space for profound rest. But let's go deeper into what this gratitude really means. In the Buddhist understanding, gratitude isn't just an attitude. It's a recognition of interconnectedness. Your day didn't happen in isolation. Countless beings contributed to your experience. The person who grew your food, the one who built your home, the friend who listened to your concerns, even the stranger who smiled at you on the street. When you say, "I am grateful for this day's journey," you're acknowledging this beautiful web of connection that supported your existence. Think about the air you breathed today. It was given to you freely by the trees and plants around the world. Consider the water you drank. It traveled through clouds and rivers to reach you. Reflect on the moments of beauty you witnessed. Perhaps sunlight streaming through a window, or the laughter of a child, or the comfort of a warm cup of tea. These weren't accidents. They were gifts offered to you by the generous universe itself. As you prepare to speak this first sacred line tonight, let it settle into your heart like a warm embrace. Don't think about tomorrow's challenges or yesterday's regrets. Simply rest in the recognition that today, with all its imperfections and blessings, was exactly what you needed for your soul's journey. This gratitude becomes a gentle lullaby, singing you towards sleep with the sweetest peace. In Zen monasteries, monks often practice what's called evening gratitude. They don't list specific things they're grateful for. Instead, they rest in the feeling of gratitude itself. It's like sitting by a warm fire. You don't need to analyze the fire or think about its components. You simply let its warmth penetrate your being. This is how we approach the first sacred line. Let gratitude warm you from the inside out, preparing your body and mind for the most restful sleep. As this gratitude fills you, notice how your body naturally relaxes. Your shoulders might soften. Your jaw might unclench. Your breathing might become even more slow and rhythmic. This is the physical manifestation of spiritual peace. When your heart is grateful, your body remembers how to rest. This is the first gift of the sacred lines. They don't just change your thoughts. They transform your entire being into a vessel for peace. The second sacred line, I release what no longer serves. As the night deepens around you and your body settles more completely into rest, we come to perhaps the most liberating of all the sacred lines. I release what no longer serves. These words carry the power to free you from invisible chains you may not even realize you've been wearing. In the gentle darkness of your bedroom, surrounded by the quiet of evening, you have the opportunity to let go of everything that has been weighing down your spirit. In ancient Zen Buddhism, there's a profound teaching story about two monks traveling together. They came to a muddy river where a young woman was stranded, unable to cross. The older monk, despite his vows not to touch women, carried her across the river and set her down safely on the other side. The two monks continued their journey in silence. Hours later, the younger monk finally spoke. "How could you carry that woman? We're not supposed to touch women." The older monk smiled gently and replied, "I put her down at the river. You're still carrying her." This story illuminates something beautiful about the nature of release. So often, we continue carrying burdens long after the moment that created them has passed. We carry conversations that hurt us, mistakes we made, opportunities we missed, people who disappointed us. We carry these things not because we have to, but because we've forgotten how to put them down. The second sacred line is your permission slip to finally, gently, lovingly put down what you've been carrying. But what does it mean to release what no longer serves? It doesn't mean pretending difficult things didn't happen. It doesn't mean forcing yourself to forget or forgive before you're ready. Instead, it means recognizing that holding on to pain, resentment, worry, or regret serves no beneficial purpose in your life. It's like carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks. Each rock might represent something real, a genuine hurt, a valid concern, a lesson learned. But carrying them everywhere you go only exhausts you. The wisdom is learning when to set down the backpack. As you rest in the comfort of this moment, breathing slowly and deeply, imagine that with each exhale, you're releasing something that no longer serves your highest good. Perhaps it's the frustration you felt in traffic today. Maybe it's worry about a situation you can't control. It might be disappointment in yourself for not living up to some expectation. Or it could be an old wound that you've been nurturing long past its ability to teach you anything useful. There's another beautiful Zen story about a master who was known for his incredible peace and joy. Students would ask him, "Master, how do you remain so happy when there's so much suffering in the world?" He would smile and say, "I don't resist the river." When pressed to explain, he continued, "Life is like a river, with both clear water and muddy water flowing through it. If I try to hold on to only the clear water, I create suffering. If I resist the muddy water, I create suffering. But if I let the river flow as it will, both clear and muddy, I remain at peace." The secret is not to grasp or push away, but simply to let flow. This is the essence of release. It's not about judging your experiences as good or bad. It's about allowing them to flow through you, like water through cupped hands. When you say, "I release what no longer serves," you're not denying your experiences. You're choosing not to dam up the river of your life with resistance and attachment. Think about a tree in autumn. It doesn't resist releasing its leaves. It doesn't cling to them or judge itself for letting them go. The tree trusts the natural process of release, knowing that this letting go is what allows new growth to come in spring. In the same way, your willingness to release what no longer serves creates space for new peace, new joy, new opportunities to enter your life. This release isn't a loss. It's a gift you give to yourself. Sometimes we resist letting go because we think it means we didn't care about something or someone. But true release comes from love, not indifference. A mother doesn't love her child less when she lets him walk to school by himself. She loves him enough to release her need to control his every step. When you release what no longer serves, you're loving yourself enough to stop carrying unnecessary burdens. You're loving others enough to stop trying to control their choices. You're loving life enough to stop resisting its natural flow. As you practice this sacred line tonight, notice what comes up for you. What are you ready to release? Maybe it's the need to be perfect. Perhaps it's resentment towards someone who hurt you long ago. It might be fear about the future or regret about the past. Whatever arises, greet it with compassion. Thank it for trying to protect you or teach you. Then, with the gentleness of a mother releasing a balloon into the sky, let it go. In Zen practice, there's a meditation where you imagine yourself as a house and thoughts and emotions as visitors. You don't have to invite every visitor in for dinner. You can acknowledge them at the door, thank them for coming, and kindly let them know they don't need to stay. This is the spirit of release. You're not fighting against anything. You're simply choosing what deserves a permanent place in the house of your consciousness. Feel how this release creates space in your body. Notice how your muscles might soften as you let go of tension you didn't even realize you were holding. Observe how your breathing deepens as you release the need to control or fix or worry. This physical relaxation is your body's way of saying thank you for choosing peace over struggle. This is how release prepares you for the most healing sleep. When you're not carrying the weight of what no longer serves, your body remembers its natural state of rest and restoration. As you continue to rest in this moment, wrapped in the comfort of your bed and the security of this practice, allow the second sacred line to work its gentle magic. Each time you speak it, whether aloud or silently in your heart, you're participating in an ancient ritual of liberation. You're joining countless souls who have discovered that the path to peace often begins with the courage to let go. The third sacred line, I embrace the stillness within. Now, as we journey deeper into this sacred practice, we arrive at what many consider the heart of all Buddhist wisdom. I embrace the stillness within. These words point to something extraordinary that lives at the very center of your being. Beneath all the thoughts, beneath all the emotions, beneath all the daily concerns and endless mental chatter, there exists a place of perfect stillness. This isn't emptiness. This is fullness. This is the source of all peace, all love, all wisdom. And right now, in this very moment, it's waiting for you to remember it. In the mountains of ancient Japan, there lived a Zen master known for his extraordinary serenity. Students would travel from far and wide to ask him the secret of his peace. One day, a particularly anxious student approached him during a fierce thunderstorm. The wind was howling, rain was pounding against the temple walls, and lightning was flashing across the sky. "Master," the student shouted over the noise, "how can you remain so calm when there's such chaos all around us?" The master smiled and pointed to a deep well in the temple courtyard. "Look at the surface of the well," he said. The student saw that despite the storm, the water deep in the well remained perfectly still. "The storm touches only the surface," the master explained. "At depth, there is always stillness. You are like this well. No matter what storms rage in your mind or in the world, at your deepest level, you are always still." This story reveals a profound truth about your inner nature. Your thoughts may be racing. Your emotions may feel turbulent. Your body may be tired or uncomfortable. These are all surface phenomena, like waves on the ocean. But beneath the waves, in the depths of the ocean, there is perfect stillness. This stillness isn't something you need to create or achieve. It's something you need to remember and embrace. It's your true nature, your original face, your Buddha nature. When you say, "I embrace the stillness within," you're not trying to stop your thoughts or eliminate your emotions. You're acknowledging that beneath all mental activity, you are fundamentally still. You're like the mountain that remains unmoved while clouds pass over its peak. The clouds are your thoughts and feelings. They come and go, change and shift, appear and disappear. But you, the mountain of your deepest self, remain eternally still. As you rest in the comfort of this moment, allow yourself to sink into this deeper awareness. Don't try to chase away any thoughts that arise. Instead, notice that you are the spacious awareness in which thoughts appear. You are not your thoughts. You are the still sky in which the clouds of thought drift by. Feel how liberating this recognition can be. You don't have to solve every problem tonight. You don't have to figure out everything right now. You can simply rest in the stillness that you are. There's another beautiful Zen teaching that illustrates this truth. A student asked his master, "What is Buddha?" The master replied, 3 pounds of flax." The student was confused and asked for clarification. The master explained, "Buddha nature isn't something special or extraordinary. It's the ordinary miracle of awareness itself. It's present in everything, as natural as 3 pounds of flax. You don't need to become something other than what you are. You need to embrace the stillness that you already are. This stillness within you isn't passive or empty. It's vibrantly alive, pregnant with infinite possibility. It's like the pregnant pause between musical notes that makes the melody possible. Without stillness, there would be no movement. Without silence, there would be no sound. Without the spacious awareness that you are, there would be no experience at all. You are the stage upon which the drama of life unfolds, and the stage remains unaffected by whatever play is being performed upon it. When you embrace this stillness, something magical happens. Your nervous system begins to remember its natural state of calm. Your heartbeat slows to its most peaceful rhythm. Your breathing deepens into the pattern of perfect rest. This isn't something you're forcing. This is what naturally occurs when you stop struggling against your true nature and simply allow yourself to be. In traditional Zen practice, there's a meditation called just sitting. It's not about achieving any particular state or having any special experience. It's simply about embracing what is already here. The stillness, the awareness, the fundamental okayness of your being. You don't have to go anywhere or become anything different. You just rest in the recognition of what you've always been. Think of a clear lake on a windless day. The surface is so still that it perfectly reflects the sky, the trees, the clouds. But the lake isn't trying to reflect anything. Reflection is simply its nature when it's still. In the same way, when you embrace your inner stillness, wisdom naturally arises. Compassion spontaneously flows. Peace becomes your default state. This isn't effort. This is effortlessness. This is coming home to yourself. As you practice this third sacred line, notice how it affects your relationship with whatever is happening in your mind. Instead of being caught up in the content of your thoughts, you begin to rest in the awareness that observes them. Instead of being overwhelmed by emotions, you recognize yourself as the still space in which emotions arise and pass away. This shift in identity, from the waves to the ocean, from the clouds to the sky, from the thoughts to the thinker, is one of the most profound transformations possible. Feel how this stillness is always available to you. No matter how busy your day has been, no matter how many challenges you're facing, no matter how tired or overwhelmed you might feel, this stillness remains untouched. It's like a secret sanctuary within you that no external circumstance can disturb. When you embrace this stillness, you're not escaping from life. You're finding the unshakable foundation from which you can meet life with grace. In this moment, as your body settles deeper into rest and your breathing continues to slow and deepen, allow yourself to melt into this recognition. You are not separate from the peace you seek. You are that peace. You are not searching for stillness. You are stillness itself, temporarily forgetting your true nature. This sacred line is simply a gentle reminder of what you've always been. Embrace it. Welcome it. Come home to the stillness within. This inner stillness becomes your refuge, your sanctuary, your source of unshakable peace. As you continue to rest in this awareness, notice how it transforms your entire experience of lying here. You're not just preparing for sleep. You're reconnecting with the deepest truth of your being. And from this place of profound stillness, the most healing, restorative sleep naturally arises. The fourth sacred line, I trust the wisdom of my heart. As we continue our gentle journey into the depths of peaceful sleep, we encounter a line that bridges the ancient wisdom of Buddhism with the most intimate knowing within you. I trust the wisdom of my heart. These words invite you to recognize something profound, that beneath all the confusion, beneath all the second guessing, beneath all the external voices telling you what you should think or feel or do, there lives an inner compass of extraordinary accuracy. Your heart knows. It has always known. And in this quiet moment before sleep, you have the opportunity to remember and honor this deepest knowing. In ancient China, there was a Zen master who was famous for never giving direct answers to spiritual questions. Students would ask him about the meaning of life, the nature of enlightenment, the path to peace. Instead of responding with concepts or teachings, he would simply place his hand over his heart and smile. After years of this mysterious behavior, one brave student finally asked, "Master, why do you never answer our questions with words?" The master chuckled softly and replied, "Words come from the mind, which doubts and analyzes and creates confusion. But truth comes from the heart, which simply knows." When you learn to listen here, he tapped his chest gently. All questions answer themselves. This story points to something revolutionary in your spiritual journey. For so long, you may have been taught to trust your logical mind above all else. To analyze, to figure out, to make pros and cons lists, to seek advice from experts. While the intellect certainly has its place, the Buddhist tradition recognizes that the deepest wisdom comes from a different source entirely. It comes from the heart, not the physical heart, but the spiritual heart, the center of your being where intuition, compassion, and profound knowing naturally arise. When you say, "I trust the wisdom of my heart," you're acknowledging that you already possess everything you need to navigate life with grace. You don't need to become someone different or acquire some special knowledge. You need to remember how to listen to the voice that speaks in whispers rather than shouts, in feelings rather than thoughts, in knowing rather than thinking. This voice has been with you since birth. It's the same inner knowing that told you as a child which people felt safe and which didn't, which activities brought you joy and which felt forced. As you rest in the comfort of this moment, breathing slowly and deeply, place one hand gently over your physical heart. Feel its steady, reliable rhythm. This rhythm has been with you every moment of your life, never stopping, never doubting its purpose. Your heart doesn't question whether it should beat. It doesn't analyze the best way to circulate blood. It simply knows what to do and does it with perfect trust. In the same way, your inner heart knows what you need for your deepest well-being. There's a beautiful teaching in Zen Buddhism about the difference between mind knowledge and heart knowledge. Mind knowledge is like reading about swimming in books. You can understand the theory, memorize the techniques, analyze the physics of buoyancy, but until you actually enter the water and feel it support you, you don't truly know how to swim. Heart knowledge is direct experience. It's the knowing that comes from living, from feeling, from being fully present to life as it unfolds. This is the wisdom your heart offers. Not theories about peace, but the direct experience of peace itself. Think about the decisions in your life that brought you the most genuine happiness. Chances are they weren't made through extensive analysis or following someone else's advice. They arose from a deep sense of rightness, a feeling that this choice aligned with your truest self. Maybe it was choosing a partner who felt like home, or pursuing a creative passion that lit you up from within. or making a life change that scared your mind but excited your soul. These moments of following your heart's wisdom are glimpses of what's possible when you trust this inner knowing. The heart's wisdom speaks differently than the mind's chatter. The mind often speaks in shoulds and have tos and what ifs. The heart speaks in attraction and repulsion, in excitement and peace, in expansion and contraction. When you're considering a choice that aligns with your heart's wisdom, you might feel a sense of opening, of energy, of yes in your body. When you're considering something that goes against this wisdom, you might feel tight, contracted, or drained. Your body is constantly giving you feedback about what serves your highest good. In this moment, as you prepare for sleep, your heart's wisdom is guiding you toward rest. It knows that your body needs time to repair and regenerate. It knows that your mind needs a break from processing and analyzing. It knows that your spirit needs the opportunity to connect with deeper sources of nourishment. You don't have to force sleep to come. You can trust that your heart knows exactly what you need and is gently guiding you toward the perfect rest. There's another Zen story about a monk who was obsessed with finding enlightenment. He studied every text, practiced every meditation, followed every rule, but peace remained elusive. One day, exhausted and discouraged, he sat by a river and began to cry. An old woman washing clothes nearby asked what was wrong. He explained his desperate search for enlightenment. She smiled and said, "Stop looking so hard and just listen." "Listen to what?" he asked. "To your heart. It's been trying to tell you that what you seek has been with you all along." In that moment of simple listening, the monk found the peace he had been frantically seeking. This is the gift of trusting your heart's wisdom. It stops the frantic seeking and brings you home to yourself. Your heart knows that you don't need to be perfect to be lovable. It knows that you don't need to have everything figured out to be worthy of peace. It knows that right now, exactly as you are, you deserve rest, comfort, and the most profound sense of being held by life itself. As you practice this fourth sacred line, notice what your heart is telling you in this moment. Maybe it's saying that you've done enough today, that you can release the need to be productive and simply be. Perhaps it's reminding you that you are loved, even when you can't feel it clearly. It might be whispering that tomorrow will take care of itself, that you don't need to solve everything tonight. Whatever your heart is communicating, receive it with gratitude. This is your inner wisdom speaking. Feel how trusting your heart's wisdom changes your relationship with uncertainty. Instead of needing to know exactly what will happen tomorrow or next week or next year, you can rest in the knowing that your heart will guide you moment by moment. Instead of having to make all decisions from your anxious mind, you can learn to consult this deeper wisdom. This trust becomes a foundation of unshakable peace. No matter what storms arise in your external life, you have this inner compass that always points toward your true north. In traditional Buddhist practice, the heart is considered the seat of both wisdom and compassion. These aren't separate qualities, but different faces of the same jewel. When you trust your heart's wisdom, you're naturally guided toward choices that are both wise and kind. Your heart would never lead you to harm yourself or others. It would never guide you toward genuine selfishness or cruelty. The heart's wisdom is always aligned with love, even when that love requires difficult choices or uncomfortable truths. Think about a mother's intuition about her child. She often knows when something is wrong before there are any obvious signs. She can sense her child's needs in ways that transcend logical analysis. This isn't magic. This is heart wisdom. In the same way, you have this intuitive knowing about your own life, your own needs, your own path. The practice is learning to listen to it with the same attentiveness that a loving mother listens to her maternal instincts. As you lie here in the growing quietude of approaching sleep, feel how your heart's wisdom is already guiding this experience. It knows exactly how fast or slow your breathing needs to be. It knows which thoughts serve your peace and which ones you can gently release. It knows how to soften your muscles and slow your heartbeat. It knows how to prepare your entire being for the most restorative sleep. You don't have to manage this process. You can trust the wisdom that lives within you. There's a profound teaching in Zen about don't know mind. This doesn't mean being confused or uncertain. It means resting in the spacious, not knowing that allows true wisdom to emerge. When your mind insists it knows what's best, it often creates struggle and resistance. But when you rest in humble not knowing and trust your heart's wisdom to guide you, solutions and insights arise naturally. This is like the difference between forcing a key and allowing a door to open when you've found the right approach. Your heart's wisdom is connected to something much larger than your individual mind. In Buddhist understanding, it's connected to the wisdom of all life, the intelligence that guides flowers to bloom and birds to migrate and seasons to change. When you trust this wisdom, you're aligning yourself with the natural flow of existence itself. This alignment creates a sense of ease and rightness that your nervous system recognizes as safety. And when your nervous system feels safe, sleep comes naturally. Notice how different this feels from trying to figure everything out with your analytical mind. The mind often creates tension as it grasps and searches and worries. But the heart rests in knowing. It doesn't need to understand everything to trust the process. Like a tree that doesn't understand photosynthesis, but perfectly knows how to turn sunlight into nourishment, your heart knows how to navigate life without needing to comprehend every detail. As you continue to rest in this moment, breathing slowly and deeply, allow the fourth sacred line to work its gentle magic. Feel how trusting your heart's wisdom creates space for miracles. Not dramatic, flashy miracles, but the quiet miracles of peace arising naturally, of tension dissolving without effort, of sleep coming as a gift rather than something you have to chase. This trust is itself a form of prayer, a way of saying yes to the deeper intelligence that guides your life. Your heart has been waiting patiently for you to remember this trust. It has never stopped offering its guidance, even when you've been too busy or too worried to listen. Tonight, as you prepare for the most peaceful sleep, you're giving your heart the recognition it deserves. You're acknowledging that you don't have to have all the answers to live wisely. You simply need to trust the wisdom that lives within you. This trust becomes the bridge between your waking consciousness and the profound peace that awaits in sleep. The fifth sacred line, I am at peace with all that is. We now arrive at the culmination of our sacred practice, the line that encompasses all the others and guides you into the deepest possible peace. I am at peace with all that is. These words hold the power to transform your entire relationship with existence itself. They invite you to release the exhausting struggle against reality and instead find profound rest in what the Zen masters call acceptance of the isness of what is. This isn't passive resignation. This is the most courageous and liberating choice you can make. This is choosing peace over the illusion that fighting reality will somehow change it. In a monastery high in the Himalayas, there lived an old monk who was known throughout the region for his extraordinary serenity. Visitors would come from distant lands to understand the source of his peace. One day, a wealthy merchant arrived, frustrated and bitter about losing his fortune in a business deal gone wrong. "Master," he said angrily, "how can you be at peace when there's so much injustice and suffering in the world? How can you accept what is clearly unacceptable?" The old monk smiled gently and invited the merchant to walk with him to the garden. There, they observed a magnificent tree that had been struck by lightning. Half of it was blackened and dead, while the other half was green and thriving. "Tell me," the monk asked, "is this tree beautiful or ugly? Perfect or flawed?" The merchant looked confused. "It's both," he finally said. "Exactly," the monk replied. "Life is both. When I am at peace with all that is, I see the whole tree. I don't waste energy wishing it were different. I find beauty in what is." This story illuminates one of the most profound truths in all of Buddhist philosophy. Peace doesn't come from having a perfect life where everything goes according to your preferences. Peace comes from developing the capacity to be okay with life as it actually is. This includes the difficult parts, the unexpected challenges, the losses and disappointments, the uncertainty and change. When you can be at peace with all that is, you discover a freedom that no external circumstance can touch. But what does it truly mean to be at peace with all that is? It's important to understand that this doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. It doesn't mean you stop caring about injustice or cease working to improve conditions in your life. Instead, it means you stop arguing with reality as your starting point. You accept what is as the foundation from which all positive action can arise. It's like accepting that you're currently in New York when you want to be in California. You can't get to California by denying that you're in New York. You have to start from where you actually are. As you rest in the growing stillness of this moment, breathing slowly and naturally, consider your own relationship with what is. Perhaps today brought challenges you didn't expect. Maybe there are ongoing situations in your life that you wish were different. It's possible that your body doesn't feel exactly as you'd like it to feel, or your emotions aren't perfectly peaceful. Right now, in this moment, you have an opportunity to practice the most radical acceptance, not because these things are inherently good or bad, but because they simply are. There's a famous Zen saying, "You are perfect as you are, and you could use a little improvement." This captures the beautiful paradox of being at peace with all that is. You can simultaneously accept your current reality completely and still work toward positive change. The difference is that your actions come from love rather than resistance, from wisdom rather than struggle, from peace rather than war with what is. This shift in motivation changes everything. Think about a river flowing around a boulder. The river doesn't fight the boulder or try to push it out of the way. It simply flows around it, finding the path of least resistance while continuing toward its destination. In the same way, when you're at peace with all that is, you learn to flow around the obstacles in your life rather than exhausting yourself by fighting them. Sometimes this flowing creates enough force over time to gradually move the boulder. Sometimes it carves a new and even more beautiful path. But always, the river maintains its essential nature of peaceful flow. This practice becomes especially powerful as you prepare for sleep. So often, our minds remain active at bedtime because we're still wrestling with the day's events. We replay conversations, trying to change what was said. We worry about problems, trying to solve them through mental repetition. We resist our current state of tiredness or emotional upset. All of this mental activity creates the very tension that prevents peaceful sleep. But when you can genuinely say, "I am at peace with all that is," you stop this exhausting struggle. There's another beautiful teaching story about a student who complained to her Zen master about her inability to meditate. "My mind is so busy," she said. "I can't stop thinking. I can't achieve the peaceful state I'm supposed to have." The master listened compassionately and then asked, "Are you at peace with having a busy mind?" "No," she replied. "That's the problem." The master smiled. "There's your real practice. First, be at peace with the busy mind. Accept what is. Then see what happens." The student tried this approach. To her amazement, when she stopped fighting her thoughts, they naturally began to slow down and settle. This is the miracle of acceptance. When you stop resisting what is, it often begins to transform naturally. Not because you forced it to change, but because resistance was what was keeping it stuck in the first place. It's like relaxing a clenched fist. The moment you stop gripping so tightly, your hand naturally opens. In the same way, when you stop gripping your experience so tightly, trying to make it different, it often shifts toward greater peace all by itself. Being at peace with all that also means being at peace with yourself exactly as you are right now. Maybe you don't feel like the most patient person today. Perhaps you made mistakes or said things you wish you could take back. You might be carrying physical tension or emotional heaviness. All of this is part of what is done. You don't have to fix yourself before you can be at peace. You can be at peace with your imperfections, your works in progress, your beautifully human way of navigating life. In Buddhist understanding, this acceptance is actually the foundation of all genuine transformation. When a gardener plants a seed, She doesn't reject the soil because it's dark and dirty. She works with the soil as it is, knowing that this very darkness and earthiness are what will nourish the seed into a beautiful flower. In the same way, when you're at peace with all that is in your life, including the difficult parts, you create the conditions for natural growth and positive change. As you practice this fifth sacred line tonight, feel how it encompasses all the previous lines. Your gratitude for the day's journey becomes deeper when you're at peace with all that the day contained. Your release of what no longer serves becomes more complete when you're not fighting against having carried those burdens in the first place. Your embrace of inner stillness becomes more profound when you're at peace with whatever arises in that stillness. Your trust in your heart's wisdom becomes stronger when you're at peace with the uncertainty that requires such trust. Notice how being at peace with all that is affects your physical body. When you stop arguing with reality, your muscles naturally begin to soften. When you cease resisting your current experience, your breathing deepens and slows. When you accept what is, your nervous system receives the message that it's safe to rest. This isn't something you have to force. This is the natural response of a system that no longer perceives the need to fight or flee. Feel yourself sinking deeper into this acceptance, like settling into a warm bath. You don't have to change anything about this moment to make it acceptable. The temperature of the room, the sounds you might hear, the thoughts passing through your mind, the feelings in your body, all of it can be exactly as it is. You are learning to be a gracious host to your own experience, welcoming whatever appears without judgment or resistance. This peace with all that is becomes your pathway into the most restorative sleep. When you're not carrying the tension of resistance, when you're not using mental energy to fight reality, when you're simply resting in acceptance of what is, sleep comes as naturally as night follows day. Your body recognizes this state of non-resistance as the perfect condition for healing and regeneration. Your mind, no longer tasked with changing what cannot be changed, can finally rest. In this moment, as you speak these sacred words either aloud or silently in your heart, you're participating in one of the most ancient and powerful practices known to humanity. You're choosing peace over struggle, acceptance over resistance, love over fear. You're aligning yourself with the wisdom of countless seekers who have discovered that true peace is not the absence of challenges, but the presence of acceptance. This is your initiation into the deepest rest, the most profound peace, the sleep that heals not just your body, but your very soul. The sacred practice, weaving the lines together. Now that you've encountered each of the 5 sacred lines individually, it's time to experience them as they were meant to be experienced, as a unified practice, a gentle weaving of wisdom that guides you from wakefulness into the most peaceful sleep. These lines aren't separate teachings, but facets of a single jewel, each one reflecting and amplifying the light of the others. When spoken together in the quiet sanctuary of your bedroom, they create a sacred bridge between the day you've lived and the rest you're about to receive. In ancient Buddhist monasteries, this transition from day to night was considered one of the most important spiritual practices. The monks understood that how you end your day determines not only the quality of your sleep, but also how you'll begin the next day. Sleep isn't just a biological necessity. It's a spiritual opportunity. It's a time when your conscious mind steps aside and allows deeper healing, integration, and wisdom to emerge. The 5 sacred lines prepare your entire being, body, mind, and spirit to receive these gifts. Let's practice speaking the lines together now, slowly and with deep intention. As you speak each line, whether aloud in a soft whisper or silently in your heart, allow its meaning to penetrate not just your thoughts but your entire being. Feel how each word carries the weight of centuries of wisdom, the power of countless souls who have found peace through these same principles. I am grateful for this day's journey. Feel this gratitude rising from the depths of your being, encompassing everything that happened today. The easy moments and the challenging ones, the expected and the surprising, the joyful and the difficult. All of it was part of your soul's curriculum for growth. Rest in the recognition that you've been exactly where you needed to be, learning exactly what you needed to learn. I release what no longer serves. With each exhale, feel yourself letting go of anything that has been weighing you down. Old resentments, current worries, expectations that weren't met, tensions you've been carrying in your body. You don't have to analyze what needs to be released. Simply set the intention to let go and trust that your deeper wisdom knows what to release. Feel the lightness that comes with this, letting go. I embrace the stillness within. Turn your attention inward to that place of perfect peace that exists at your very core. This stillness isn't something you need to create. It's something you need to remember. Beneath all the mental activity, beneath all the emotional fluctuations, you are fundamentally still. Rest in this recognition. Allow this stillness to embrace you as much as you embrace it. I trust the wisdom of my heart. Place your hand gently over your heart and feel its steady rhythm. This heart has been guiding you with perfect wisdom your entire life. It knows how to love, how to forgive, how to choose what serves your highest good. Trust that this same wisdom is guiding you toward the exact rest and healing you need tonight. You don't have to figure anything out. You can simply trust. I am at peace with all that is. Feel yourself settling into complete acceptance of this moment exactly as it is. Nothing needs to be different for you to be okay. You don't have to solve any problems or fix any situations before you can rest. Right here, right now, exactly as things are, you can be at peace. This peace becomes your doorway into the most restorative sleep. Notice how speaking these lines together creates a journey from gratitude through release, from stillness through trust, to complete peace. Each line prepares you for the next, like steps leading down into deeper and deeper waters of tranquility. By the time you reach the final line, your entire being has been prepared for the sacred act of sleep. There's a beautiful rhythm to this practice that mirrors the natural rhythms of life itself. Just as day flows into night, just as the tide moves from high to low, just as your breath moves from inhale to exhale, these lines guide you from the activity of daytime consciousness into the receptivity of sleep consciousness. You're not forcing this transition. You're honoring it, blessing it, making it sacred. In Zen Buddhism, there's a concept called ceremonial mind. This means bringing the same reverence and attention to simple daily activities that you would bring to a sacred ritual. When you speak these 5 lines before sleep, you're transforming the ordinary act of going to bed into a sacred ceremony. You're acknowledging that rest is not just physical, but spiritual. You're honoring sleep as a gift, rather than taking it for granted. As you continue to practice with these lines night after night, you'll notice that they begin to work their magic even more deeply. The first few times, you might need to think about what each line means. But gradually, the wisdom becomes embodied. Your body starts to relax as soon as you begin the practice. Your mind naturally quiets. Your heart opens. The lines become like a lullaby that your entire being recognizes as the signal for deep peace. Some nights, you might find that one particular line resonates more strongly than the others. Perhaps you especially need to practice gratitude after a difficult day. Maybe release is calling to you after you've been holding on to something too tightly. Trust this intuition. You can spend extra time with whichever line your heart is drawn to. The practice is flexible, meant to serve your unique needs in each moment. Other nights, you might find that the lines carry you so deeply into peace that you fall asleep before finishing all 5. This is perfect. The intention itself is powerful. Beginning the practice signals to your entire being that it's time for sacred rest. Don't worry about completing every word perfectly. Sleep is the goal, not perfect recitation. Feel how this practice creates a sacred container for your sleep. Just as a beautiful chalice makes ordinary water feel precious, these lines transform ordinary sleep into something sacred. You're not just closing your eyes and hoping for the best. You're consciously preparing yourself to receive the gifts that sleep offers. Deep physical healing, emotional integration, spiritual nourishment, and the renewal of your life force. As we continue through this long, gentle practice tonight, notice how the repetition of these principles in different ways allows them to sink deeper and deeper into your consciousness. Like water slowly soaking into dry earth, these truths need time to penetrate the layers of conditioning and habit that might resist peace. But with patience and gentle persistence, they transform the very soil of your being into rich ground for the most beautiful rest. The 5 sacred lines become your mantra, your prayer, your gentle incantation that opens the doorway between worlds, between the world of doing and the world of being, between the world of effort and the world of grace, between the world of complexity and the world of simple, profound peace. This is the threshold you cross each night, and these words are your faithful guides across that sacred bridge. The deeper teachings, Zen stories of the night. As your body settles deeper into rest and your breathing continues to slow and deepen, let's explore some of the most beautiful Zen teachings about the night, about sleep, and about the profound peace that becomes possible when we align ourselves with the natural rhythms of existence. These stories have been shared around monastery hearths for centuries, passed down from teacher to student like precious gifts. They illuminate truths that your rational mind might struggle to grasp, but that your heart immediately recognizes. There once was a Zen master who lived in a small temple at the edge of a village. Every evening, as the sun set, villagers would notice a soft light glowing from his meditation hall throughout the entire night. Curious about this practice, a student finally asked, "Master, why do you meditate all night? Don't you need sleep?" The master smiled gently and replied, "Who told you I don't sleep? I sleep so deeply that even while sitting upright, my body rests completely. The difference is that I don't lose consciousness of the peace within. I have learned to carry the meditation into sleep and carry the sleep into meditation. They are not opposites, but dance partners." This story points to something profound about the nature of true rest. Most of us think of sleep and wakefulness as completely separate states. But the deepest teachings suggest that there's a awareness that can remain present through both. This isn't the busy, analytical awareness of the everyday mind. This is the gentle, peaceful awareness of your deepest being. When you practice the 5 sacred lines, you're learning to carry this peaceful awareness with you as you transition into sleep. Another story tells of a student who complained to her teacher about having trouble sleeping. "My mind races all night," she said. "I worry about everything I did wrong during the day and everything that might go wrong tomorrow. How can I find peace?" The teacher handed her a small bell and said, "Tonight, when you lie down to sleep, ring this bell once and then listen to the sound until it completely fades away. When your mind starts racing, ring it again and listen. But don't ring it to stop the thoughts. Ring it to remember that you are the listener, not the thoughts." The student tried this practice. At first, she found herself ringing the bell frequently as her mind churned with activity. But gradually, something shifted. She began to rest in the identity of the listener rather than getting caught up in the content of what was being listened to. Her thoughts were like sounds arising and fading away in the vast space of her awareness. This space remained peaceful regardless of what sounds appeared within it. Sleep began to come naturally as she rested in this spacious listening. This teaching illuminates the 3rd sacred line, "I embrace the stillness within." The stillness isn't the absence of thoughts or sensations. It's the peaceful space in which all thoughts and sensations arise. When you identify with this space, rather than with the changing contents of your experience, you find a peace that nothing can disturb. This peace naturally carries you into the most restorative sleep. There's another beautiful story about a Zen monk who was known for waking up each morning in exactly the same peaceful state he had when he went to sleep. Whether he had pleasant dreams or nightmares, whether he slept deeply or lightly, whether he was awakened by sounds or slept through the night, undisturbed, he always awoke with the same serene smile. When asked about this remarkable consistency, he explained, "I don't go to sleep. I go to peace. And peace doesn't depend on the particular experiences that arise within it. Dreams come and go, but I remain at peace. Sleep comes and goes, but I remain at peace. Morning comes, but the peace remains. This story reveals the deepest secret of the 5 sacred lines. They're not just techniques for getting better sleep. They're doorways into a state of being that transcends the ups and downs of particular experiences. When you truly embody these principles, you discover that peace isn't dependent on external circumstances. It's your natural state, temporarily obscured by mental habits but always available to be rediscovered. In another monastery, there lived an old monk who had developed the most unusual practice. Every night before sleep, he would bow deeply to his bed. Students found this strange and asked him about it. "Why do you bow to your bed, Master?" He replied, "I bow to honor the great teacher that my bed is. Every night it teaches me the art of letting go. It shows me how to surrender completely, how to trust in being supported, how to release all effort and simply receive. My bed is a master of non-doing. It has much to teach about the way of peace." This story beautifully illustrates the 4th sacred line, "I trust the wisdom of my heart." The heart's wisdom often manifests as a natural knowing of when to act and when to rest, when to strive and when to surrender. Your bed becomes a teacher in the art of receiving rather than grasping, of being supported rather than having to support everything yourself. When you lie down with this spirit of receptivity and trust, sleep becomes not just rest, but spiritual practice. There's a famous Zen saying, "You are perfect as you are, and you could use a little improvement." A student once asked her master how this paradox applied to sleep. The master replied, "Your sleep is perfect as it is, whether it's deep or light, whether you dream or don't dream, whether you sleep for many hours or few. And your sleep could use a little improvement. You could approach it with more reverence, more gratitude, more conscious preparation. The improvement isn't in changing the sleep itself, but in changing your relationship to it. When you honor sleep as sacred, even imperfect sleep becomes a doorway to peace. This teaching connects to the 5th sacred line, "I am at peace with all that is." Being at peace with all that is includes being at peace with how you sleep, how you rest, how your body and mind behave during the night. Some nights you might toss and turn. Other nights you might sleep like a baby. Both can be approached with the same spirit of acceptance and peace. The goal isn't perfect sleep. The goal is perfect peace with whatever sleep arises. One of the most beautiful Zen teachings about night comes from a master who was asked about the difference between ordinary sleep and enlightened sleep. He said, "Ordinary sleep is like a temporary death. Consciousness disappears and you become unconscious. Enlightened sleep is like a temporary rebirth. You die to the small self but remain conscious as pure awareness. In ordinary sleep, you lose yourself. In enlightened sleep, you find yourself." The 5 sacred lines are training for this kind of conscious rest. Don't worry if this level of conscious sleep seems far beyond your current experience. The beauty of these teachings is that they work gradually, gently transforming your relationship with rest, night by night. Simply having the intention to approach sleep as a spiritual practice begins to shift everything. Your body learns to relax more deeply. Your mind learns to quiet more easily. Your spirit learns to rest in the peace that you truly are. As you continue to rest in this moment, feeling your body settling deeper into comfort and your breathing becoming slower and more rhythmic, know that you're participating in an ancient tradition of conscious rest. Countless beings have walked this path before you, discovering that sleep can be not just biological necessity, but spiritual opportunity. Each night becomes a chance to practice dying to the small self and awakening to the vast self. Each morning becomes a chance to bring this peace into your daily activities. The Zen masters understood that how you sleep affects how you live, and how you live affects how you sleep. The 5 sacred lines create a bridge between these two states, infusing both with the same spirit of gratitude, release, stillness, trust, and peace. This is how ordinary sleep is transformed into enlightened rest. This is how ordinary rest becomes a doorway to extraordinary peace. The practice of mindful rest, deepening your sacred sleep. As we continue this gentle journey together, settling ever deeper into the profound peace that comes from aligning with ancient wisdom, let's explore how each sacred line works, not just on the surface of your consciousness, but in the very depths of your being. The practice of speaking these lines before sleep is like dropping seeds into the rich soil of your subconscious mind. While your conscious mind rests, these seeds of wisdom take root, growing into new patterns of peace that will bless every area of your life. In the mountains of Tibet, there's a monastery where monks practice what they call dream yoga. This isn't about controlling your dreams or having lucid experiences. It's about maintaining awareness of your true nature, even while asleep. The practice begins long before sleep, with the cultivation of specific intentions and states of consciousness. The 5 sacred lines we've been exploring are a simplified version of this ancient practice, accessible to anyone who seeks deeper rest and greater peace. The first line, "I am grateful for this day's journey," works on what Buddhist teachers call the gratitude layer of consciousness. When you consistently end your day with genuine appreciation, you're programming your subconscious mind to look for reasons to be grateful. This isn't positive thinking or denial of difficulties. This is training your awareness to recognize the gifts that are always present, even in challenging circumstances. Over time, this practice rewires your neural pathways, making gratitude your default response rather than something you have to effort to feel. Think of your mind like a garden. Throughout the day, all kinds of seeds are planted. Seeds of worry from the news you watched, seeds of frustration from traffic delays, seeds of self-doubt from comparing yourself to others. If you go to sleep without consciously choosing what seeds to water, these random plantings will grow wild. But when you end each day by watering the seeds of gratitude, you ensure that appreciation and peace are what flourish in the garden of your consciousness. There's a beautiful story from ancient China about a farmer who discovered that the quality of his crops depended not just on what he planted in spring, but on how he prepared the soil in winter. During the cold months, when the fields appeared empty and dormant, he would walk among them, speaking words of appreciation to the earth. He would thank the soil for its patience, the rain for its nourishment, the sun for its warmth. Other farmers mocked him for talking to dirt, But when spring came, his fields produced the most abundant harvest in the region. "The earth remembers every word," he would say. Gratitude spoken in winter blooms as abundance in spring. Your subconscious mind is like this wise farmer's soil. It remembers every thought and feeling you plant before sleep. When you consistently plant gratitude, you create the conditions for peace and contentment to grow naturally in your life. This isn't magical thinking. This is how consciousness works. What you focus on expands. What you appreciate appreciates. The last thoughts before sleep have special power because they marinate in your mind for hours without interference. As you rest here now, breathing slowly and deeply, notice how gratitude feels in your body. When you genuinely appreciate something, perhaps the warmth of your blankets, the comfort of your pillow, the simple miracle of your breath moving in and out without effort, your entire nervous system relaxes. Gratitude is like a gentle massage for your soul. It softens what has become hard, opens what has become closed, and heals what has become wounded. The second sacred line, "I release what no longer serves," works on what we might call the letting go layer of consciousness. This practice is based on the Buddhist understanding that suffering comes not from what happens to us, but from our resistance to what happens to us. When we cling to experiences that have passed, or grasp after experiences we wish would come, we create tension in the very fabric of our being. The practice of conscious release teaches us to hold life lightly, like cupping water in our hands. In a monastery in ancient India, there lived a monk who was known for his extraordinary ability to remain peaceful regardless of circumstances. Students would ask him how he maintained such equanimity. He would take them to the monastery garden, where a beautiful fountain flowed continuously. "Watch the water," he would say. "It never tries to hold on to itself. It never resists flowing. It never becomes attached to any particular form. This is why it remains pure and beautiful. This is why it can nourish everything it touches." When you learn to live like water, you discover the secret of peace. This teaching illuminates the deep wisdom of release. When you hold on to grievances, they become stagnant pools of resentment. When you grip your expectations too tightly, they become rigid structures that reality inevitably breaks. But when you learn to let go, to flow like water, you discover a flexibility and resilience that can adapt to any circumstance. This doesn't mean becoming passive or uncaring. It means caring so deeply that you're willing to let go of your small ideas about how things should be in order to align with the larger flow of life. The practice of nightly release works on your consciousness like a gentle detox. Throughout the day, you accumulate emotional and mental toxins, little resentments, minor frustrations, tiny disappointments. If these aren't consciously released, they build up over time, creating a background level of tension and dissatisfaction. But when you end each day by intentionally letting go of what no longer serves, you prevent this accumulation. You go to sleep clean, clear, and ready to receive whatever gifts the night might bring. Feel how this release affects your physical body. As you let go of the need to control outcomes, your jaw might soften. As you release resentment towards someone who hurt you, your shoulders might drop. As you stop fighting against a situation you can't change, your entire body might sink deeper into rest. This physical relaxation is your body's way of saying thank you for choosing peace over struggle. The third sacred line, "I embrace the stillness within," points to what Buddhist teachers call your Buddha nature, the inherently peaceful awareness that is your deepest identity. This stillness isn't something you need to create or achieve. It's something you need to recognize and embrace. Like the space in which thoughts arise, this stillness is always present, whether you're aware of it or not. The practice is learning to rest your attention in this spacious awareness, rather than in the changing contents of your experience. There's a profound teaching story about a student who spent years trying to quiet her mind through meditation. She would sit for hours, fighting against her thoughts, trying to force her mind into silence. The harder she tried, the more agitated she became. Finally, in desperation, she approached her teacher. "Master, I've been practicing for years, but my mind is still busy. I can't achieve the silence I'm supposed to find." The teacher smiled and asked, "Who is aware of this busy mind?" The student paused. "I am," she replied. "And what is the nature of this I that is aware?" The teacher continued. As the student turned her attention to the awareness itself, rather than to the contents of awareness, she discovered something amazing. The awareness was naturally still, naturally peaceful, naturally present. It had been there all along, like the sky behind the clouds. This is the stillness within that you're learning to embrace. It's not the opposite of activity. It's the peaceful space in which all activity arises. When you rest in this stillness, you're not trying to stop your thoughts or eliminate your emotions. You're recognizing that you are the unchanging awareness in which thoughts and emotions appear and disappear. This recognition brings immediate peace because you stop identifying with the turbulence and start identifying with the calm. As you practice embracing this stillness tonight, notice that it's not something foreign or difficult to access. It's as natural as breathing, as intimate as your own heartbeat. Right now, as you lie here listening to these words, you are aware. This awareness itself is the stillness. It's not thinking about stillness or imagining stillness. It is stillness. Feel how resting in this recognition immediately relaxes your entire being. The fourth sacred line, "I trust the wisdom of my heart," connects you with what ancient teachings call your inner guru, the teacher that lives within your own being. This isn't sentiment or emotion, though it includes those. This is a deeper knowing that arises from the intersection of wisdom and love. Your heart knows things that your mind hasn't figured out yet. It knows what you need for your deepest well-being. It knows how to love unconditionally. It knows how to forgive completely. It knows how to rest in trust, even when circumstances seem uncertain. In the tradition of Zen Buddhism, there's a practice called listening with the heart ear. This doesn't mean listening with your physical ears, but learning to perceive with your deeper, intuitive capacity. When you listen with your heart ear, you can hear the wisdom that speaks in silence, the guidance that comes through feeling rather than thinking, the truth that reveals itself through direct knowing rather than analysis. One of the most beautiful aspects of trusting your heart's wisdom is that it connects you with the intelligence of life itself. Your heart beats in rhythm with the pulse of the universe. Your breath moves in harmony with the breath of all living beings. When you trust this deeper wisdom, you're aligning yourself with forces much larger and wiser than your individual mind. This creates a sense of being held and supported that allows the deepest relaxation. Think about the times in your life when you've made decisions from your heart rather than from fear or social pressure. Perhaps choosing a partner who felt like home rather than someone who looked good on paper. Maybe pursuing a creative passion that excited your soul rather than a career that promised security. Or standing up for something you believed in, even when it was difficult. These heart-based choices often led to the most fulfilling experiences of your life. This is your heart's wisdom in action. As you prepare for sleep tonight, feel how trusting your heart's wisdom allows you to release the need to figure everything out with your mind. Your heart knows that you don't have to solve every problem before you can rest. It knows that sleep itself is healing, and that solutions often arise naturally from a place of rest rather than struggle. This trust becomes like a gentle lullaby, singing you toward the most peaceful sleep. The fifth sacred line, "I am at peace with all that is," represents the culmination of all Buddhist practice. This isn't passive resignation or spiritual bypassing. This is the most radical acceptance possible, the willingness to embrace reality exactly as it is, as your starting point for any positive action. When you're at peace with what is, you stop wasting energy fighting reality and can instead use that energy for creative response. There's a famous Zen story about a master who was asked about the secret of happiness. He replied, "I never argue with reality. When it's raining, I let it rain. When it's sunny, I let it shine. When I'm sad, I let myself be sad. When I'm happy, I let myself be happy." The secret is not resistance. What you resist persists. What you accept transforms. This acceptance doesn't mean you become passive or stop working for positive change. It means you accept your starting point completely so that your actions come from love rather than resistance, from wisdom rather than reactivity, from peace rather than struggle. When you're at peace with all that is, your actions become more effective because they're aligned with reality rather than fighting against it. As you practice this final sacred line, feel how it encompasses and completes all the others. Your gratitude becomes deeper when you're at peace with all that your day contained. Your release becomes more complete when you're not fighting against having carried burdens in the first place. Your stillness becomes more profound when you're at peace with whatever arises in that stillness. Your trust becomes stronger when you're at peace with uncertainty itself. Notice how being at peace with all that is affects your relationship with sleep. You don't have to have perfect conditions to rest well. You don't have to solve every problem or fix every situation. You can be at peace with your tiredness, at peace with any physical discomfort, at peace with the thoughts and feelings that arise as you settle into rest. This peace becomes the perfect foundation for the most healing sleep. Together, these 5 sacred lines create what we might call a peace spiral. Each line deepens the peace created by the previous one, and the peace creates the perfect conditions for even deeper rest. As you continue to practice with these lines, night after night, you'll find that they become like old friends. Your body will begin to relax as soon as you begin the practice. Your mind will naturally quiet. Your heart will open. And sleep will come not as something you chase, but as a gift you receive. The sacred rhythm of night, deepening into sleep. As the earth turns slowly on its axis, carrying you deeper into the embrace of night, you become part of an ancient rhythm that has been sacred to all cultures throughout time. This is not merely the end of another day. This is your participation in the cosmic dance of light and darkness, activity and rest, doing and being. Every cell in your body recognizes this rhythm. Every breath you take aligns you more perfectly with the natural flow of existence. As you speak the 5 sacred lines, you're not just preparing for sleep. You're entering into communion with the most fundamental pulse of life itself. In Buddhist understanding, sleep is not the opposite of wakefulness, but its sacred partner. Like the 2 wings of a bird, both are necessary for the soul's journey. During the day, you engage with the world of form, of action, of external experience. During the night, you return to the formless realm, the place of deep rest where healing and renewal occur naturally. This rhythm of expansion and contraction, of reaching outward and drawing inward, mirrors the very heartbeat of the universe. Feel how your body already knows this ancient rhythm. Notice how your breathing has naturally slowed since we began this practice. Your heartbeat has found its most peaceful pace. Your muscles have begun to release tension you didn't even realize you were holding. This isn't something you're forcing. This is your body's innate wisdom responding to the call of night. You are remembering how to be in harmony with the natural world. The first sacred line, "I am grateful for this day's journey," connects you to the completion that comes with sunset. Just as the sun doesn't resist setting, you learn to embrace the natural ending of each day. In many ancient traditions, sunset was considered the most sacred time for gratitude because it represents the fulfillment of a cycle. The day has given you everything it had to offer. You have received its gifts, learned its lessons, experienced its unique collection of moments. Now comes the time for appreciation and letting go. As you speak this line tonight, feel how gratitude creates a sense of completion in your nervous system. When you truly appreciate what you've received, your body naturally relaxes into satisfaction. It's like the feeling of contentment after a nourishing meal. Your being recognizes that it has been fed, and rest becomes not just possible but inevitable. This gratitude prepares every cell for the renewal that comes with sleep. The rhythm of gratitude echoes the rhythm of your breath. With each inhale, you receive the gift of life. With each exhale, you offer thanks for that gift. This breathing becomes a prayer without words, a meditation that requires no effort. Simply breathing with appreciation for this day's journey allows your entire being to settle into the peaceful rhythm of night. The second sacred line, I release what no longer serves, aligns you with the natural letting go that happens in darkness. Think of how trees release their leaves in autumn, not with struggle or resistance, but with the graceful surrender that comes from trusting natural cycles. Your mind and heart can learn this same graceful release. As night deepens, you practice the art of letting go with the same trust that trees show in releasing their leaves. Feel how this release happens in waves, like gentle tides flowing out to sea. With each exhale, something that has been binding you flows away. Perhaps it's tension from a difficult conversation. Maybe it's worry about tomorrow's responsibilities. It could be disappointment about something that didn't go as planned. Whatever it is, you don't need to analyze it or understand it. You simply let it flow out with your breath, like releasing a small boat onto peaceful waters. This natural rhythm of release prepares your body for the deeper letting go that happens in sleep. During sleep, your brain naturally clears away the metabolic waste that accumulates during waking hours. Your nervous system processes and integrates the experiences of the day. Your muscles repair and regenerate. The conscious release you practice with the second sacred line supports and amplifies these natural healing processes. Notice how letting go creates space in your body. As you release what no longer serves, your chest might feel more open. Your shoulders might settle deeper into the bed. Your jaw might soften. This physical spaciousness is your body's way of preparing to receive the gifts that sleep offers. Like clearing a vessel so it can be filled with fresh water, release creates room for renewal. The third sacred line, I embrace the stillness within, connects you to the profound quiet that lives at the heart of night. In the depths of darkness, when the world grows still and the busy sounds of day fade away, you can hear the deeper silence that is always present. This isn't the silence of absence, but the silence of presence. It's the silence in which all sounds arise and into which they return. This is the stillness of your deepest being, as vast and peaceful as the night sky itself. As you practice embracing this stillness, feel how it's not something separate from you. You don't have to go somewhere else to find it. You don't have to become someone different to access it. This stillness is what you are beneath all the movement of thoughts and emotions. It's like discovering that beneath the waves on the surface of the ocean, there are depths of perfect calm. You are both the waves and the depths, but tonight you're learning to rest in the depths. This stillness has its own rhythm, slower and deeper than the rhythms of daily life. It's the rhythm of galaxies turning, of seasons changing, of the earth breathing through day and night. When you align with this cosmic stillness, your personal rhythms naturally slow and deepen. Your breath becomes longer and more spacious. Your heartbeat finds its most peaceful pace. Your brain waves shift into the patterns associated with deep rest and healing. Feel how embracing this stillness is like sinking into the deepest, most comfortable bed imaginable. But this bed is made of pure peace, pure awareness, pure being. As you settle into this inner stillness, your physical body naturally follows. Muscles that have been working all day finally get permission to completely let go. Systems that have been active and alert shift into their regenerative mode. This is the magic of aligning with your deepest nature. The fourth sacred line, "I trust the wisdom of my heart," connects you to the intelligence that orchestrates all of sleep's healing processes. Your heart doesn't need to be reminded to beat. Your lungs don't need instructions to breathe. Your cells don't need to be taught how to repair themselves. There's a profound wisdom operating in your body that knows exactly what you need for optimal rest and renewal. Trusting this wisdom allows you to stop trying to manage the process of falling asleep and instead surrender to it. This heart wisdom operates according to the same natural rhythms that govern the turning of the earth and the flowing of the tides. It knows when it's time to be active and when it's time to rest. It knows how to slow your metabolism for sleep and how to quicken it for waking. It knows how to balance all the delicate systems that keep you healthy and whole. When you trust this wisdom, you're aligning yourself with forces far more intelligent and powerful than your conscious mind. Feel how this trust creates a profound relaxation in your entire being. When you don't have to figure out how to fall asleep, when you don't have to force rest to come, when you can simply trust that your body knows exactly what to do, a deep peace naturally arises. It's like being held by the most loving parent, knowing that you're completely safe and cared for. This trust becomes a gateway into the most restorative sleep. Your heart's wisdom is connected to the wisdom of all life. The same intelligence that guides flowers to turn toward the sun and birds to know when to migrate is guiding your transition into sleep. You're not separate from the natural world. You're part of its intricate, beautiful web of interconnection. Trusting your heart's wisdom is trusting the wisdom of life itself. The fifth sacred line, "I am at peace with all that is," brings you into perfect harmony with the acceptance that night naturally offers. In darkness, the busy mind that tries to fix and change and control naturally quiets. The urgent demands of the day soften into the spacious permission of night. You don't have to solve anything right now. You don't have to improve anything right now. You can simply be at peace with whatever is present, knowing that this peace is the foundation for all healing. This peace with all that is reflects the acceptance that night itself embodies. Night doesn't judge the day that preceded it. It doesn't try to change what happened or fix what went wrong. It simply embraces everything with the same gentle darkness, offering rest and renewal to all beings regardless of their worthiness. This is the kind of unconditional acceptance you're learning to offer yourself. Feel how this acceptance creates the perfect conditions for sleep. When you're not fighting against your thoughts or trying to force your body to feel different, when you're simply at peace with exactly how things are right now, your nervous system receives the signal that it's safe to let go completely. This is what allows the deepest, most healing sleep to emerge naturally. As you rest in this peace with all that is, notice how it encompasses everything. The sounds you might hear in the distance, the feeling of your body against the sheets, the thoughts that continue to arise and pass away. the emotions that flow through like gentle currents. All of it can be exactly as it is. You don't have to change anything for peace to be present. Peace is what you are when you stop trying to be something else. Together, these 5 sacred lines create a rhythm that mirrors the natural progression from day into night. Gratitude completes the day. Release clears space for rest. Stillness opens the doorway to sleep. Trust allows surrender to the process. Peace embraces whatever arises. This rhythm becomes like a gentle spiral, carrying you deeper and deeper into the sacred embrace of night. Feel yourself becoming part of this ancient rhythm now. Your breathing synchronized with the breathing of the earth. Your heartbeat aligned with the pulse of the universe. Your consciousness gently dissolving into the vast awareness that holds all things. This is not sleep as escape from life. This is sleep as full participation in life's deepest mystery. This is rest as sacred practice. This is peace as your natural state. As the sacred rhythm of night carries you deeper into rest, know that you are exactly where you belong. You are part of the eternal dance of consciousness, sometimes awake and active, sometimes asleep and regenerating. Both states are equally sacred. Both are necessary for the full expression of what you are. Tonight, you surrender to the healing embrace of sleep, trusting that when morning comes, you will awaken refreshed, renewed, and deeply at peace. The eternal return, morning, night, and the circle of peace. In the gentle depths of approaching sleep, as your consciousness begins to merge with the vast ocean of rest, there's something profoundly beautiful to recognize about the circular nature of peace. The 5 sacred lines you speak each night don't just prepare you for sleep. They plant seeds that bloom into wisdom throughout the following day. And the peace you cultivate during your waking hours creates the foundation for even deeper rest when night returns. This is the eternal circle of spiritual practice. Each moment of mindfulness nurtures the next. Each breath of peace makes the following breath more natural. When you awaken tomorrow morning, you'll carry with you the gifts that this night's practice has woven into your being. The gratitude you spoke before sleep will color how you perceive the first moments of the day. Instead of immediately rushing into worry or planning, you might find yourself naturally appreciating the simple miracle of having rested, of being alive, of receiving another day. This isn't something you have to force. It's the natural fruit of seeds planted in the soil of your consciousness. The release you practice before sleep creates space in your morning mind. Rather than waking up immediately cluttered with yesterday's concerns or tomorrow's anxieties, you might discover a spaciousness, a clarity, a sense of starting fresh. This is the gift of consciously letting go. When you don't carry old burdens into your sleep, you don't carry them into your new day. Each morning becomes a genuine new beginning rather than a continuation of accumulated stress. The stillness you embraced before sleep becomes a refuge you can access throughout your day. In moments of challenge or overwhelm, you'll remember that there's a place within you that remains unshaken. This remembrance might come as a gentle pause in the middle of a difficult conversation, a moment of deep breathing before responding to a stressful email, or a few seconds of inner quiet while waiting in line. These small returns to stillness, scattered throughout your day, become like drops of water, nourishing the garden of your peace. The trust in your heart's wisdom that you cultivated before sleep will guide your choices and responses during waking hours. Instead of making every decision from anxiety or social pressure, you'll find yourself naturally consulting this deeper knowing. Perhaps you'll choose kindness over being right in a disagreement. Maybe you'll trust your intuition about a situation rather than overthinking it. These heart-guided choices accumulate over time, creating a life that feels more authentic and aligned. The peace with all that is that you practiced before sleep becomes a lens through which you view the inevitable challenges of the day. Traffic jams become opportunities to practice patience. Unexpected changes become invitations to cultivate flexibility. Difficult people become teachers in the art of compassion. This doesn't mean becoming passive or losing your ability to respond skillfully to situations. It means responding from peace rather than reactivity, from wisdom rather than fear. And then, as the day completes its cycle and evening returns, you bring to your night practice all the peace you've gathered during your waking hours. The moments of gratitude you experience throughout the day make the evening gratitude deeper and more genuine. The small releases you practice during daylight hours make the night's letting go more complete. The stillness you touched in quiet moments makes the evening embrace of inner silence more profound. This is how the spiritual life actually works. Not in dramatic transformations or sudden enlightenments, but in the gradual accumulation of moments of peace. Each time you choose awareness over unconsciousness, each time you select love over fear, each time you pick presence over distraction, you're weaving threads of wisdom into the fabric of your being. Over time, these threads create a tapestry of such beauty that your entire life becomes a work of art. The ancient Buddhist masters understood this circular nature of practice. They saw that awakening isn't a destination you reach once and then possess forever. It's a quality of presence that you cultivate, moment by moment, day by day, year by year. Each night's practice prepares you for the next day's opportunities to embody wisdom. Each day's mindfulness prepares you for the next night's journey into deeper peace. Feel how this understanding takes all pressure off of tonight's practice. You don't have to achieve perfect peace or have a transcendent experience. You simply need to show up with genuine intention and let the practice work its gentle magic. Some nights you'll feel profound peace immediately. Other nights, the lines might feel mechanical or your mind might seem busy. Both experiences are perfect. Both are part of the natural rhythm of spiritual growth. What matters is the consistency, the willingness to return again and again to these principles that promote peace over struggle. Like water gradually wearing smooth a rough stone, your repeated practice gradually wears away the rough edges of reactivity, anxiety, and resistance. What remains is the smooth stone of your natural peace, your inherent wisdom, your deepest compassion. In Zen monasteries, there's a saying, Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. This points to the beautiful ordinariness of awakened life. The same activities continue, but they're infused with a quality of presence and peace that transforms everything. Your life might look the same from the outside, but from the inside, everything is different. This is what the 5 sacred lines gradually create in your life. Not a dramatic external transformation, but a profound internal shift that colors every experience. You still face challenges, but you meet them from a place of centered strength. You still experience difficulties, but you don't add unnecessary suffering through resistance. You still have preferences and desires, but you're not enslaved by them. You become like a mountain that remains steady, while weather systems pass over it. As you continue to rest here, feeling your body settling ever deeper into the embrace of approaching sleep, sense how you're not just practicing for tonight. You're practicing for tomorrow, for next week, for the rest of your life. Each word you speak with genuine intention plants seeds that will flower in ways you can't yet imagine. Each moment of peace you cultivate becomes part of the peace you offer to everyone you encounter. This is the ripple effect of spiritual practice. Your peace becomes a gift to your family, who experience you as more present and less reactive. Your calm becomes a blessing to your colleagues, who benefit from your steadier energy. Your acceptance becomes healing for the strangers you meet, who sense in you a quality of non-judgment that allows them to relax. You become a source of peace in a world that desperately needs more peace. The circle completes itself as the peace you emanate in the world contributes to the overall peace of the world. And this collective peace creates better conditions for everyone's individual practice. We're all connected in this web of consciousness, all supporting each other's journey toward greater awakening. Your commitment to peace is a gift to the whole human family. Tonight, as you speak these 5 sacred lines and allow them to carry you into the deepest rest, know that you're participating in something much larger than personal benefit. You're joining an ancient lineage of seekers who have discovered that peace is not only possible, but natural. You're contributing to the healing of the world through the healing of your own consciousness. You're proving that it's possible to live from love rather than fear, from wisdom rather than confusion, from peace rather than struggle. And when you awaken tomorrow, refreshed and renewed, you'll have the opportunity to begin the circle again, to carry the peace of your sleep into your waking activities, to gather new moments of gratitude, release, stillness, trust, and acceptance, to weave more threads of wisdom into the tapestry of your being, to offer your peace as a gift to the world. This is the eternal return, the sacred circle that connects all moments in the web of awakening. Rest now in the profound satisfaction of knowing that this practice continues whether you're asleep or awake. The seeds are planted. The circle is complete. The peace you are is eternal, expressing itself in the temporary forms of rest and activity, sleep and waking, night and day. You are home in this peace. You have always been home. Tonight, you simply remember. the ocean of stillness, dissolving into infinite peace. As you rest here in the deepening quiet of night, your consciousness begins to soften, like sugar dissolving in warm water. The boundaries between where you end and the vast ocean of peace start to blur and fade. This is not a loss, but a homecoming. You are like a single wave, discovering that it was never separate from the ocean. The peace you seek has always been the peace you are. Now, in the gentle embrace of approaching sleep, you allow yourself to remember this fundamental truth. Imagine yourself floating on the surface of an infinite ocean. The water is perfectly warm, supporting your body with complete tenderness. Above you, the night sky stretches endlessly, filled with stars that pulse with the same rhythm as your peaceful heart. There is no shore in sight, no edge to this ocean. You are surrounded by infinite space, infinite peace, infinite love. This is not just a visualization. This is the actual condition of your consciousness when you stop grasping and allow yourself to float. The first sacred line, "I am grateful for this day's journey," becomes like releasing a flower onto the water's surface. Your gratitude floats gently on the ocean of being, beautiful and natural. Each moment of appreciation you've ever felt, each spark of thankfulness that has touched your heart, joins this offering. The ocean receives your gratitude without effort, the way water receives light. Feel how this gratitude doesn't diminish you, but actually expands you. You become larger, more spacious, more connected to the infinite gift of existence. As your gratitude spreads across the ocean, like ripples of golden light, you notice that you are both the one offering thanks and the ocean receiving it. There is no real separation between giver and receiver, between you and the peace that surrounds you. This recognition brings a profound relaxation. Your body settles deeper into the supportive water. Your mind releases its need to maintain boundaries and barriers. You are beginning to dissolve into the vastness that has always been your true home. The second sacred line, "I release what no longer serves," becomes like letting go of heavy stones you've been carrying in your pockets. One by one, these burdens sink into the depths of the ocean, disappearing into the vast darkness below. Each worry, each regret, each unnecessary tension drops away. The ocean doesn't judge what you release. It simply receives everything with the same infinite acceptance. As these weights disappear, you float higher and lighter on the surface. Feel how releasing these burdens doesn't require effort or struggle. The ocean's natural buoyancy lifts away what you no longer need to carry. Your hands, which have been clenched around old griefs and future fears, gradually open. Your arms spread wide on the water's surface, embracing the vastness. You are learning the art of effortless letting go. The ocean teaches you that holding on is optional. Resistance is a choice, and this choice can be unmade as easily as opening your hands. With each release, you become more transparent, more fluid, more like the water itself. The rigid edges of your separate self begin to soften. You are still you, but you are also becoming something larger. The drop is remembering its unity with the ocean. This is not a loss of identity, but a discovery of your true identity. You are both the individual wave and the infinite water. The third sacred line, I embrace the stillness within, brings you into direct contact with the ocean's deepest nature. Beneath the gentle movement of the surface, beneath the soft lapping of waves, there exists a profound stillness. This stillness is not empty, but full. It contains all possibility, all peace, all love. As you sink your awareness into this stillness, you discover that it's not separate from you. You are this stillness. You have always been this stillness. Feel yourself dissolving into this vast quiet. Your breath becomes the ocean's breath. Your heartbeat merges with the eternal pulse that moves through all things. The boundaries between your consciousness and the ocean consciousness fade completely. You are no longer floating on the water. You are the water. You are the floating. You are the infinite space in which both water and floating appear. This stillness has no edges, no beginning, no end. It extends in all directions infinitely. Past and future dissolve into this eternal now. Here and there merge into this omnipresent presence. You and other melt into this unified being. In this vast stillness, all questions are answered not through words but through direct knowing. All seeking comes to rest in the recognition that what you sought was what you always were. The fourth sacred line, I trust the wisdom of my heart, becomes like surrendering completely to the ocean's current. You stop trying to swim in any particular direction. You stop analyzing which way the water is moving or where it might carry you. You simply float with complete trust, knowing that the ocean's wisdom is infinitely greater than your small mind's understanding. This trust is not passive, but actively receptive. You are consciously choosing to align with intelligence far vaster than your individual consciousness. Feel how this trust allows every muscle in your body to completely relax. Your legs float freely, no longer trying to kick or control your movement. Your arms spread wide, no longer trying to paddle or direct your path. Your head tilts back, face turned toward the infinite sky. You are being carried by forces of love and wisdom that know exactly where you need to go. This is the deepest possible surrender. This is what the mystics call dying before you die. The ocean's current carries you not through space, but through consciousness itself. You are floating through layers of peace, each one deeper and more profound than the last. Your individual heartbeat becomes the heartbeat of the universe. Your personal breath becomes the breath of all life. You are discovering that your most intimate nature is also the most universal nature. The heart's wisdom you're trusting is not just your heart, but the heart of existence itself. The fifth sacred line, I am at peace with all that is, completes your dissolution into the infinite ocean. In this vast water, there is no resistance to anything. The ocean accepts all rivers that flow into it, regardless of their clarity or turbidity. It embraces all weather that touches its surface, whether storm or calm. In the same way, You are learning to be at peace with every wave of experience that arises in your consciousness. Feel how being at peace with all that is makes you as vast as the ocean itself. Pain and pleasure, joy and sorrow, gain and loss, all are simply different textures in the infinite water of your being. None of them define you or limit you. They arise and pass away like waves on the surface while your essential nature remains unchanging. You are the eternal witness, the endless expanse, the peace that passeth understanding. In this complete acceptance, something miraculous happens. You discover that you were never actually separate from anything. Every person you've ever loved, every beautiful moment you've ever experienced, every insight you've ever had, all of it exists within this ocean of consciousness that you are. Nothing has ever been lost. Nothing has ever been outside of you. You are the infinite field in which all experience arises. Now, as you float in this boundless ocean of peace, notice how sleep begins to approach like the gentlest tide. It doesn't come as something foreign or separate. It arises naturally from the depths of the stillness you've discovered. Sleep is simply another movement in the ocean of consciousness. You don't have to make it happen. You don't have to go anywhere or become anything different. You simply allow the natural rhythm of consciousness to carry you into its deeper waters. Feel yourself being drawn down into these depths, not with any sense of drowning or fear, but with the most profound sense of coming home. The surface world of thoughts and concerns grows dim and distant. The light of ordinary awareness fades into a deeper luminosity. You are sinking into the womb of existence itself, where all healing happens, where all renewal occurs, where all peace originates. In these infinite depths, you discover that sleep is not unconsciousness, but the deepest consciousness. It's consciousness without object, awareness without boundary, love without limitation. You don't lose yourself in sleep. You find yourself. You don't become unconscious. You become so conscious that there's no separate self left to be conscious of. This is the secret that mystics have whispered for centuries. Sleep is enlightenment. As you dissolve completely into this ocean of infinite peace, carry with you the recognition that this vastness is always available. When you awaken, you will remember that you are not just the wave, but the entire ocean. When challenges arise in your daily life, you will know that you have infinite depth to draw upon. When you feel small or limited, you will remember this moment of boundless expansion. Rest now in the complete knowing that you are held by love itself. You are floating in the very substance of peace. You are dissolved in the ocean of all wisdom, all compassion, all joy. There is nothing to fear, nothing to achieve, nothing to become. You are already perfect. You are already whole. You are already home. Let the gentle waves of this infinite ocean carry you now into the deepest sleep. Let the rhythm of the eternal tide rock you like the most loving mother. Let the vast silence of the depths embrace you completely. You are the ocean. You are the peace. You are the love that has no opposite. Sleep now, in this recognition, dissolve completely into what you have always been. The final embrace, sinking into sacred sleep. In this profound moment, as consciousness gently releases its grip on the familiar shores of waking awareness, you find yourself at the most sacred threshold. This is not merely the end of another day or the beginning of simple rest. This is the holy moment when your soul returns to its source, when the individual drop of awareness merges back into the infinite ocean of being. Here, at this threshold between worlds, the 5 sacred lines have done their work. They have prepared not just your body and mind for sleep, but your entire being for the deepest possible communion with peace itself. Feel how completely different this moment is from ordinary falling asleep. Instead of consciousness simply fading away, it's expanding into something infinitely larger. Instead of losing awareness, you're discovering what awareness really is when it's not confined to the small circle of personal concerns. This is conscious sleep, sacred sleep, the sleep of the awakened heart. Every cell in your body recognizes this as a homecoming. Your breathing has now found the rhythm of the universe itself. Each inhale draws in not just oxygen, but the very essence of life. Each exhale releases not just carbon dioxide, but every last trace of separation, every final thread of resistance. You are breathing with the rhythm of the stars, the pulse of the galaxies, the heartbeat of existence itself. This is what it means to be truly alive, to be so completely present that you merge with the source of all presence. The first sacred line, "I am grateful for this day's journey," has opened your heart so completely that gratitude has become your very substance. You are no longer someone who feels grateful. You have become gratitude itself. Every moment of beauty you've ever witnessed, every kindness you've ever received, every lesson you've ever learned, flows through you like golden honey. This gratitude is so vast, it includes not just today, but every day you've ever lived, every breath you've ever taken, every beat of your faithful heart. Feel how this gratitude naturally leads to the deepest rest. When you're truly grateful, there's nothing left to want, nothing missing, nothing to achieve. You are complete. Your day was perfect exactly as it was, not because nothing difficult happened, but because every difficulty was perfectly placed to help your soul grow. This recognition brings the most profound contentment, the kind of satisfaction that makes sleep not an escape, but a celebration. The second sacred line, "I release what no longer serves," has emptied you so completely that you've become a clear vessel for peace. Every burden has been lifted. Every unnecessary weight has fallen away. You are light as a feather, pure as mountain air, free as space itself. This isn't temporary relaxation. This is fundamental liberation. You have remembered that suffering is optional, that clinging is a choice, that freedom is your birthright. In this empty fullness, this pregnant void, healing happens naturally. Your body knows exactly how to repair what needs repairing. Your emotions know exactly how to process what needs processing. Your mind knows exactly how to integrate what needs integrating. All of this happens effortlessly when you're not carrying the extra weight of resistance. Sleep becomes not just rest, but active healing, not just unconsciousness, but the deepest therapy. The third sacred line, "I embrace the stillness within," has revealed the vast spaciousness that you truly are. You are no longer identified with the changing contents of your experience. You are the unchanging space in which all experience arises. Like the sky that remains unaffected, whether it holds storm clouds or clear blue, you remain at peace, regardless of what passes through your awareness. This stillness is so profound that it transforms even movement into another form of rest. Feel how this stillness is not static, but dynamically alive. It's pregnant with infinite possibility. It's the creative void from which all manifestation emerges. In this stillness, you are connected to the source of all creativity, all inspiration, all wisdom. Your sleep tonight will not be mere unconsciousness, but communion with the creative principle itself. You may awaken with insights, solutions, or simply a deep sense of renewal that comes from touching the source. The fourth sacred line, "I trust the wisdom of my heart," has aligned you so completely with the intelligence of life that you've become a perfect instrument of love. Your individual will has merged with the cosmic will. Your personal wisdom has dissolved into universal wisdom. You are no longer trying to figure out life. You are allowing life to live through you. This surrender is not defeat, but victory. This is what it means to be truly powerful, to be so aligned with the force of life that you move with effortless grace. Feel how this trust allows the deepest possible letting go. You don't need to stay awake to make sure everything is okay. You don't need to keep vigilant watch over your life. The same intelligence that beats your heart and grows your hair and moves the planets in their orbits is taking care of everything. You can rest completely in this care. You can sleep with the trust of a child in the arms of the most loving parent. The fifth sacred line, "I am at peace with all that is," has expanded your acceptance so completely that you've become peace itself. There is no longer any experience that could disturb your fundamental equanimity. You are like the ocean that remains essentially peaceful, whether its surface is calm or stormy. You are like space itself, which remains unaffected by whatever objects appear within it. This peace is not the opposite of activity. This is the foundation upon which all healthy activity rests. In this complete acceptance, something miraculous has occurred. You have died to your small self and been reborn as your true self. You have released your grip on the familiar and opened your arms to the infinite. You have stopped defending your boundaries and discovered that you are boundless. This is what the mystics call the Great Death, the death that leads not to extinction but to eternal life. Now, in this moment of complete surrender, sleep approaches not as an end but as a beginning. It comes like the most gentle lover, like the sweetest mother, like the wisest teacher. You don't fall into sleep. You rise into it. You don't lose consciousness. You discover what consciousness really is when it's not limited by the boundaries of personal identity. Feel yourself being drawn into the heart of existence itself. Every star in the sky is singing you a lullaby. Every flower that has ever bloomed is offering you its fragrance. Every wise being who has ever lived is holding you in their love. You are not alone in this passage. You are surrounded by the love of the entire universe. You are held by the very force that creates and sustains all life. As consciousness gently releases its grip on the familiar forms of thought and sensation, don't resist this dissolution. Welcome it, as you would welcome the most beloved friend. This is not death, but transformation. This is not loss, but discovery. You are not disappearing. You are appearing as what you truly are. You are not falling asleep. You are awakening to your deepest nature. Let go now of any last threads of control, any final grasps of the familiar. Let the 5 sacred lines carry you like a gentle river into the ocean of infinite peace. Let your breath become the breath of the cosmos. Let your heartbeat merge with the pulse of all creation. Let your consciousness expand until it includes everything and excludes nothing. You are safe. You are loved. You are perfect, exactly as you are. You are home in the heart of existence. You are one with the source of all peace, all wisdom, all compassion. Rest now in this recognition. Sleep now in this truth. Dissolve now into the love that you are. The 5 sacred lines have done their work. They have opened the doorway to the deepest rest. They have prepared the temple of your being to receive the greatest gift. Now comes the gift itself, the gift of sacred sleep, the gift of conscious rest, the gift of communion with your own infinite nature. Sleep now, beloved soul. Sleep in the arms of the eternal. Sleep in the heart of the divine. Sleep in the recognition that you have never been separate from the peace you seek. For you are that peace. You have always been that peace. And in sleep, you simply remember what you are. Rest now. Rest completely. Rest in the infinite love that holds all things. Rest in the perfect peace that you are. Rest.